Are these the countries that are normally represented here?
Well, I do think that it's generally the same countries which demonstrate South Africa's role within the African continent. But also you do have your BRICS, membership of South Africa coming in here. That's why Brazil has sent the vice president, and the other BRICS country membership has come in. Then you do have Cuba, which has always supported the South African liberation struggle, having sent its vice president as well. Nicaragua, that's where solidarity of the former liberation movements, the Sandinistas, they come into play. But generally this time around, the greatest concentration is the African leadership.
Indeed, and having a look at some of the leaders, one particular leader that's going to be present here, who has his hands quite full at this point, it's Nigerian President Goodluck Jonathan, who has said that he will be attending. Any surprises there? Would you think that perhaps he wouldn't come and focus on the country, or is that sort of not an issue at this point for him? He has people dealing with it at home.
To the extent that he has not yet visited the area, the hotspot in the northern part of Nigeria, that could be an issue, and the fact that you still have the missing girls who have not been traced. But he could turn around and say forums of this nature, where you have the greatest concentration of African leaders and international diplomats, he would use that to canvass some of them for the support, and also to speak to the neighboring countries as well on the same matter. So it has it's a double-edged sword. It could be seen negatively that he's here when there's a crisis, and it could be seen as an opportunity for getting more support.
Let's just read a couple of the presidents that will be coming. I won't read their name, I'll just tell you. The representative country, President of the DRC, the President of the Seychelles, Mozambique, Togo, South Sudan, Burundi, Tanzania, Benin, Nigeria, as we have spoken about, the Republic of Guinea, of Mauritius, Ghana, Somalia, Kenya, Mali, Madagascar. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on.
Like a roll call of AU, because here you do have quite a huge turnout of African leaders. And again, it underscores South Africa's importance and influence in the African continent, and the high regard with which South Africa is actually held. And it has been involved in most of your peacekeeping missions, in most of your peace-seeking diplomatic efforts, virtually around the world.
Indeed. Looking at our BRICS countries, obviously they're representatives that are coming. We see, I think it's the vice president that will be coming from Brazil and India. I'm not sure. I know you've got the list in your hand there as well, the representation from BRICS. Is it good? Would you think that's commendable?
It's commendable, but also with India, remember that there is a changeover of government. They just came out of elections, and the Congress party lost quite comprehensively in that election. So the absence of their president might be due to that, because they are also going through the same transition.
On your screens right now, that's not here in the auditorium. That's actually, I beg your pardon, in the amphitheater. That's on the southern lawns. You can see the thousands of people that have already gathered there for the concert that'll be taking place. There are also massive screens that have been erected there so that the members of the public can enjoy the ceremony that'll take place. And then, of course, the musicians are going to be taken to the stage. That's put up there, which is really such a wonderful occasion to be a part of. If you are in the area, come down. Remember, you can't bring your car here, but there are park and ride facilities at different areas, and there's so many road closures here in Pretoria, so you really have to just check that out, because coming in here, you'll be directed to every other road. So I'm sure life disrupted here, but this is just for the one day every 5 years that this day is stealing the traffic and the roads here in Pretoria. So to the residents, thank you for lending us your roads, and also thanks for your patience as well through all of this. It's a great occasion that's here in your city. Well, I must say, just having a look at all the people that are here, such a festive and jovial atmosphere that are here amongst the guests. You see them joking. I mean, we also saw Notoro Kivit dancing. It was such a lovely, lovely picture moment, and I hope some of the viewers did get that. You were telling me she's sighing us a relief there, because she's been given that position as a speaker as well, so she's got something to celebrate about.
Certainly, being a speaker is a very powerful position, because you do the oversight over government in your control of parliament of the province. It could have been worse because other premiers, when they lost out, they are out. But in the Eastern Cape, she was a speaker before. Now she has returned to a role that she's familiar with.
I also have seen a lot of there's Tokyo Sekwale. He's walking in on the screen there as well, taking his place, going to get his seat as well. A former minister in Jacob Zuma's cabinet, no longer a minister, of course, but still very, very highly regarded, though.
Well, he's still a prominent business person, and I'm sure now he's off into concentrating in business. Remember, politics is quite a rough horse. You ride, sometimes you have to step off, but the journey continues.
Absolutely, I like the way you put it. We also saw a lot of the heads of the opposition parties that made their way in earlier. I saw dear leader Helen Zille, we saw Mangosuthu Buthelezi as well. And to be honest, I actually haven't spotted anybody else that's walked in. But I'm sure every single opposition party is represented here.
Generally, they would be all in. It would be interesting if the EFF would like to have the most distinct presence again in their uniform, or whether they'll just blend in the normal suits on a day like this.
Yeah, indeed. I actually haven't seen Julius Malema. He very well may be here, but just out of the shots that I've been seeing, I haven't seen him. Actually, speaking about that right now, Floyd Shivambu apparently has just arrived. So there you go. I wasn't preempting anything, I promise you. I was just told now. It's not on your screen, but Floyd Shivambu is walking up. So they are here.
Telepathic powers.
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. You know, one thing, just getting away from the African continent and our BRICS partners, what about representatives from Europe, from America? Are we seeing anything here that's happening, or representatives from these parts of the world?
Surely they'll have diplomats coming in, but what is very important on occasions like this is how senior those diplomats are. You don't see the president or deputy president or secretary of state from the US. Maybe, and just maybe, that South Africa is drifting to the arms of BRICS, and that one of the BRICS members, Russia, they are locking their horns with it now, might be one of the explanations for them sending perhaps a low-key presence here.
Yeah, indeed. All right, well, let's break away from these visuals for now, and let's show you an insert about the man of the moment. We're talking about our President Jacob Zuma. You know, let me just, before I link to this insert, I was actually asking about the chairs that are up on the podium. You'll see that there are 14 chairs that are on the main podium. Okay, now these 14 chairs are for the 5 leaders or the heads of the SANDF, 5 for the heads of the SAPS. Then, of course, there is a chair there for the Chief Justice Mogoeng. Then there is another chair that is for the President-elect, that's President Jacob Zuma. The other chair is for Makhumalo, that's who we believe is going to be accompanying President Jacob Zuma. And then there's another chair, there's a spare chair. And I was asking, now, who's the 14th chair for? And I got my answer. It isn't for anybody, it's for the President. When the President actually sits down, it'll be in that chair where he will sign the oath of office. So it's that chair that he will sit on in order to sign that particular oath of office. So those are the 14 chairs, and that's who's going to be occupying them, if you were wondering. Well, President Jacob Zuma, he's had a rich history here in South Africa. He's had an incredibly rich history in the African National Congress that he has now been leading for 5 years and moving in to the next 5 years. Let's have a look at this insert about him.